Alrighty. I want to thank everybody for your patience while I set this up. As it turns out, I have this Restream logo in my corner because I signed into the wrong account. So, unfortunately, due to time constraints, I guess we're just gonna have to roll with it. Um, but I just wanted to finally have an opportunity to express words that I couldn't express on Tuesday because I was really under the weather. But give me 1 second, guys. I want to get the chat onto my screen so that I can actually see what you guys are all saying. And there we go. I see I have you guys on the YouTube side and on the VStream. I do want to thank James David Glenn and my friend Captain N, the Game Master, for tuning in first. Or I don't know who came here first. I got to scroll up through the list to know that. But we're gonna do a little bit of what we usually do tonight. Hope my audio is okay, by the way, because I just had little time to do all of the adjustments. I really wanted to get something done before the start of this stream. And man, I had my air conditioner at full blast for like, I don't know, the past hour, and it's still hot as balls in here right now. And I think it's because I had to take the 4K version of Star Trek 2 and re-encode it like really quickly, and I think my computer decided that it was going to emit a ton of heat. Am I even streaming on the right thing right now? Okay, there we go. Okay, good. I see the little statistical graph. So let's see what the chat is doing. Audio is perfect. Thank you very much, Mr. David Glenn. Mr. David Glenn. That sounds very formal. Mr. David Glenn. Thank you very much, Mr. Dr. Evil. I didn't go to Evil Doctor School to be told thank you very much, Mr. But no, okay, jokes aside, where do I want to begin? Well, real quick, let's just catch up with the chat in case anybody had anything to say. It has rained every other day for 3 weeks. Well, don't jinx it for me because I have clear skies right now. We could be doing some astronomy right after this stream. I mean, whether I do it live, I don't know, but I could still, go outside, remove the rain cover from the telescope and do the things that involve operating an astronomical sensor array. Because, I mean, it is a sensor array. I mean, there's an image sensor in there, and if there were aliens invading, that telescope could be a first line of defense. But anyway, yeah, so I think I'm going to start just straight away. I want to talk about how I first met Clobber in times, how I first met Clobby, as everyone affectionately refers to our friend Mike Alonzo. And we still have the his friends and family still have the GoFundMe page up. They did reach the goal, and I want to thank anybody who used the link that I shared out or that anybody else shared out to donate money. It means a lot, and I think a lot of us, we want to do anything we could, to kind of, do something. Because I mean, when I put the title out today, I do see Clobby as the best of us. Clobby was the kind of guy who, people said it all freaking week. I'm sure, like, if you tuned into the Wednesday show, Wednesday night, Wild Card Wednesday night, or any of the other streams where people mourned Clobby's, Clobby's passing, you would, you see that would be that was a recurring theme. And although I didn't have the opportunity to stream with him, I don't think I streamed with Clobby more than once. I think I streamed with Clobby during a members stream, and that was fun. Like he was kind enough to compliment my setup, which I mean it means a lot coming from a guy who has like a legitimate following, who like, people turn to him for his knowledge in comics, in superhero lore. And I mean, this guy, I knew, like, I don't know if he, I don't want to be, exaggerating here, but potentially second to no one when it comes to his knowledge of Star Trek lore. And yeah, so how did I meet Clobby? So, many years ago, not many years ago, some years ago, I started watching Loki's Mornings of Mischief, run by Stone Loki or Stone Cold Loki. And I started tuning into that show, I think, when I was experimenting with waking up in the morning on my day off, because that's not my thing. Waking up in the morning is not my thing. It's one of those traits that I inherited from my mother. And yeah, I like to sleep in, or if I'm off from work, I want to stay up late. And you know, like if I'm staying up late, I'm certainly not trying to get up without getting a good night's sleep. So yeah, I'll sleep in, you know. But at that particular point in my life, you know, I was making some lifestyle changes, and you know, I was still working at Best Buy. I was still working in retail at the time, so I was trying to make some positive changes to my life, because I realized if I was going to be maintaining the wild man schedule that I had at the time, that I was not, you know, I was going to have a hard time getting a new job, or that maybe I would oversleep for a job interview. And I was like, oh, don't want that. You know, have the friggin' dream job lined up and oversleep for that. That would not be a good time, you know? You know, so I was like trying to get into good habits. And so I remember like one of the like last Black Fridays, or one of the last few Black Friday holidays that I worked at Best Buy, I started doing this thing where I'd wake up like at 5 a.m. So if I had work at 10 a.m., I'd wake up, and yeah, this ties into how I met Klobby, I promise you. You know, so I'd wake up at like 5 a.m. and it was like a way of me having personal time before going to, you know, going to work. It'd be like, you know, I'd have some me time, and I could like play some games on my laptop. In fact, that's another story in itself. But, you know, like at the time what happened was I actually got a good gaming laptop from the recycling heap. It used to be my old astronomy laptop outside. And I figured out, like, you know, when you have a decent enough graphics card to play games, you can have fun playing games. And I was like playing Space Engineers and KSP before work, and, you know, just kind of like, you know, scramble up some eggs, make some coffee, go to work from like 10 to 5 or whatever, if I had a 10 to 8, whatever it was. Go home, go to bed as soon as possible. At some points, I was going to bed voluntarily at like 7 p.m., which was a bit insane, but, you know, I'd go to bed at 7, 8, no later than 9, get up at like frickin' this obscenely early time, and, you know, eventually I balanced it out. I realized you can't wake up at 4 a.m. if you're working from 5 to 10. You know, it's like, you're just gonna, you know, say, you know, just, that's miserable, you know, it's not great, you know. But anyway, so since I was already waking up early, somehow I made Loki's Mornings of Mischief part of my morning routine. And in particular, that started a little bit earlier. That started when I was actually looking up the Cass Anvar, you know, situation from The Expanse. And I kind of Googled, you know, Cass Anvar. All I wanted was like some contrarian talking points or something with middle ground in it. And, you know, the people, you know, Loki in particular was kind of, you know, talking agreeably, which I think a lot of us, you know, gravitate to like that type of echo chamber. But I mean, it wasn't exactly an echo chamber, but, you know, it's like overall, I was like, okay, you know, I'm going to hear this guy out. And one of the things I noticed when I tuned into Loki's show, forgetting about, you know, what the topic was, when I tuned into Loki's show, you'd say something to chat, and if it was worth reading, he would read it. And I've never experienced that prior to that point. I never tuned into an interactive live show like this, where I say, hey, what's up, Lady Mist and Jana Banana? Thank you for tuning in. See, like, it's kind of cool. We got that like two-way street. It's just like the movie, okay, maybe it's not just like the movie Fahrenheit 451, but, you know, in the movie Fahrenheit 451, you got that scene where the wife, you know, is kind of playing these interactive TV games, and the TV has the little blinking light, and it's like, oh, what room should we put the baby into? And then you got to answer the questions on the TV, and then the guy's wife would be all like proud that she answered the questions on TV correctly, which was kind of absurd, but, you know, like, in a way, this whole YouTube chat thing kind of reminds me of the interactive TV from Fahrenheit 451, but not quite as insidious, right? You know, but no, I just thought it was an interesting experience to have this interactive, like, you know, this like two-way dialogue where like you're not just listening to a radio show, and you don't have to call on the phone to get on a radio show. You don't have to wait on a queue to see if you'll get lucky today to be able to speak to the guy on the radio so that you can have your words on the radio. You know, it's like you just say shit in the chat, and it's like anybody who's tuned in, as long as there's not like 1,000 people tuning into the show, they are going to have their messages responded to. So that was the first experience I had with this whole, you know, YouTube live chat thing. So now fast forward, now I'm going to finally get to the part where I first experienced or met Clobberin times. So one of these days, Klobby has a guest on his show, and it's the thing. It's the Ben Grimm guy, which I didn't even know who Ben Grimm was. In fact, I thought up until like 6 months ago, I thought Ben Grimm was Mike Alonzo's real name. But anyway, that's how out of the loop I am on this comic books thing. And despite as out of the loop on comic books I am, like this guy who, from what I understand, is a heck of a comic book guru in his own right, knew what the F he was talking about regarding Star Trek. I mean, they were just talking about Star Trek and Orville and whatever the heck, and kind of like, talking about the new Star Trek and why it sucks. And I'm like, this guy gets it. This guy knows what's up, man. He knows Star Trek. He knows real Star Trek, or, he respects, and, he grew up, or, whatever, like during a time when, Star Trek meant something to people. I mean, really meant something, okay? Not like that girl at work where she was like, I love Star Trek. And I thought she liked Star Trek, but then I realized she didn't get any of my Star Trek references because she really only liked the JJ movies. And, I mean, I got one. Can I tell you guys, I don't know if this is really proper right here. I'm doing like a memorial thing, but I got like a Star Trek reference. When you gotta go to the bathroom real bad? Like, you gotta go real bad, and you gotta hold it in, and you're just like, oh, I gotta go, I made this reference to Star Trek, how, like, when a ship is losing antimatter containment. And I think any real Star Trek fan would understand that when you gotta take a dump, it's kind of like being a starship on the verge of losing antimatter containment. And I wish I had a chance to run that joke by Klobby. But I don't know, if any Star Trek fans comprehend what I'm saying with that reference, please just give me a 1. If you don't get what I'm saying, then I guess I'll just have to expand on it one of these days when we want to have a more irreverent stream, because I really don't think it's a, good stream to go into detail. But yeah, this guy was a cool dude, man. Like, he knew his Star Trek. Exactly, got to do a core dump, right? And thank you, James and David. See, based. And ladies, I understand even if you want to give it 1, but you're trying to hold back on putting the 1 out because you're like, we're ladies. I understand. I get it. Women don't fart. I totally get it. Women never fart. Jokes aside, but that was like my first exposure to Klobby, and then he appeared on Loki's show a few times, and I remember the other day Loki mentioned that Klobby would do the Orville after show, or every Friday, they would review the recent episode of the 3rd season of Orville. Where's my mouse pointer? Okay, that's Janet Banana's response there. Never, ever. So anyway, they would do this review, and Loki was describing this the other day, how he would enjoy the episode, and then Klobby wouldn't hold back. He'd just be like, this thing was effing awful. Well, maybe he didn't say the F word, but, he was just like unload on it. He was not taking any prisoners in expressing what he did not like, or what he, felt was just, not that good about, Orville New Horizons, as they called it, right? They hold them until they gotta do makeup. Yeah, right. Yeah, because that reverberation might cause the makeup to, I don't know, but it's a good thing I don't wear makeup, man. My makeup, if I was wearing makeup, my makeup would be running down my face like sweat. You know what I mean? But anyhow, so this guy was cool. And then fast forward, aside from seeing him on, the Orville show, where, in fact, he was on with, I think, in the early episodes of the Orville After Show with the Nerdporial Life Form. I was invited to join that on midway through because, I was tuning in to every episode. And I think what happens is, maybe our friend Brian realized that, I'm actually up, really late on Wednesdays because, Wednesday is the first day of my weekend. On a 4-day weekend, Wednesday is day 1. So it's like, yeah, I'm up. He invited me on. I was delighted to hop on. But by then, I don't think I had a chance to ever appear with Klobby during that one. So as far as I'm aware, only appeared on a members stream. But, it was just an honor to interact with him on any level. And that's the thing about Klobby, was that, like, when I started tuning into his regular show, because, I subscribed to his channel right away from the first time I saw him on Loki's show. I don't know if I should be putting you on blast. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, when some girl's on speakerphone, yeah. Never mind, I just make noise with my mouth. Yeah, of course, that, yeah, because you don't want people to think you're an alien, so when you go to the bathroom, you go, okay, well, this is a hell of a juxtaposition right here that I inadvertently set up. Actually, was it inadvertent? I kind of inadvertently set up a bit of a juxtaposition here between speaking in memorial of a good man, and he is a good man. I mean, speaking of a good man, Fusion Media 24/7 did a beautiful dedication to Klobby, and Fusion, he had the courage to not only record it fresh, like right after getting the bad news, but he had the courage to post that audio recording days after that, whereas, like, I think some people, they might, have something that's emotionally raw and be willing to express themselves and then think twice about it later on, maybe just be shy, maybe not have the courage to post it. But Fusion, he went full frontal. He said very meaningful, he spoke very meaningful words, and then he found a time to, like, get a good picture, a good slideshow together. And Klobby took pictures with a lot of pretty women. Kind of reminds me of me when I was a bit younger, where, like, I would seize upon any opportunity. From the time I was 10 years old, from the time I was 8 years old, I would find any opportunity to take a picture with a hot woman, or a beautiful woman. And, so Star Trek convention, any number of places, I dig that. But, what's my point? I'm sorry, I get easily sidetracked here. So, yeah, Fusion's, dedication is just well said. It stirs up emotions, so I don't know if you guys want to watch that, if you like. I think maybe everything deserves one viewing, But he was indeed the best of us, and it would have been cool. It would have been so cool. I kind of had it in the back of my head. I would have loved to have Klobby on this show. It would have been a great honor, and I think he was on my list of people to have on after a major milestone. Like, at some point, I don't have an exact number yet, but maybe like 800, maybe 1,000. By the time I hit 1,000, I'm looking to have like a handful of people on my show. Maybe not all at once necessarily, but I would hope that I could put out a request to a few different people, and they would, accept my invite. And it's not a very big list. It's people who have subscribers ranging from as few as 1,900 and as many as, like, whatever Tom Connors has. As an example, like, I would love to get Mexican Iron Man, Loki, Tom Connors at either, separately, together, whatever, but, like, it would be an honor to have any one of those fellas. But I would not, waste any of their time, or at least I wouldn't want to, even ask without having made some kind of milestone, without doing the legwork to get myself to a point where having them on isn't, running the risk of riding on their coattails. Like, I don't want to have them on as a guest and appear or, benefit by their presence. I mean, if it happens, sure, but, like, I don't want to, like, go from 300 to 500 because I had a high profile guest. I'd rather be at 1,000 and hopefully just, like, remain at 1,000, as a result of having any guest on, any, worthwhile guest. But, people who, as I've taken this journey on this platform, who have inspired me to, just kind of have fun, be myself, do what I want. And that's the thing that Klobby knew. Klobby knew how to be himself. And I think he got, people refer to him as a late bloomer. Whatever it was, he sounded, like himself. He sounded very much like himself. Very comfortable in himself. And, first time I met Klobby, I pictured him as like a, 35, 40-year-old guy, rough and gruff, like, hey guys, okay, it's not a good voice impersonation at all. I didn't know he was like 59, not that it matters, age is just a number, and plus 59 is probably the reason why he was so based, why he knew what good science fiction, what good Star Trek was. But yeah, if you guys have any thoughts you want to add, I'm not, I don't want to just be talking in circles here, but definitely appreciate this opportunity to share my thoughts because last Tuesday I would have loved to, not loved to, I mean, I would have loved to hear the guy wake up and maybe have to spend 6 months in rehab getting his, muscle function back or something. But, I was kind of, still holding out hope, for something like that. But I understand when these things go south, it's a lot of extenuating factors in these situations. And also, just, yeah, I don't even want to imagine the emotional calculus that goes into that whole situation for the family. And I respect everyone involved for dealing with that. And, I'm glad that, some of his closest friends had the opportunity to see him. And even those who didn't see Clobby, they didn't need to see Clobby to know that Clobby loved them, and that they loved Clobby. I mean, individuals that didn't get a chance to meet Clobby, I think, who did shows with him, it was already a mutual, you don't always need to prove it to know that there's that, that two-way street of love and camaraderie and stuff like that. And, I was really looking forward to the end of Star Trek Voyager on Saturday Night Star Trek, so that we can move on to Enterprise, because I don't know, I've been in an Enterprise mood, and I've been holding out not watching Enterprise so that I'd be able to watch it with Clobby's crew. And Saturday night Star Trek happens on a work night for me. It's the first day I go back to work, so I have trouble sleeping, but at the same time I need to try to sleep, so it's like I'm not gonna go out of my way to lose sleep for the sake of Star Trek Voyager. But Enterprise, I would at least watch the episodes, review them, leave a review before going to bed, because that's how it worked. You tune into Saturday Night Star Trek with Clobby, R.M. Briggs, Raquel Briggs, first officer, I guess, and Chief Engineer Mark D with a C. Am I mixing that? Yeah, it's Mark D with a C. And people would type out their review, and you could put like part 1 of 2, part 1 of 3, and lay out your entire review in the chat, and they would read it. And that's what I forgot to say, was like this whole interactive chat experience that we get out of this whole, thing we're doing right now, where I haven't been reading messages for like 5 minutes, and I truly do apologize, and I do want to catch up with something comical that was said way up here in the chat. But before I do want to make sure I remember what I wanted to say. Was Clobby was good at greeting everyone, and maybe that's where Loki gets that from. Maybe he learned it from Clobby. I'm not really sure, I'm just guessing. But or maybe he always did it too. But you tune into the beginning, into Clobby's show from the beginning, and you get your name called out along with everyone else. You tune in from the middle because you're running late, and chances are you'll still hear your name being called out. And, usually, Clobby would be like, DJ Ronnie G, and then Raquel Briggs would be like, DJ Ronnie G, it's just a hell of a duo right there. And I hope they are everyone's able to move forward and find a way to make, that work. But, obviously, I think it's very soon to be doing that. I understand why they took a break from Saturday Night Star Trek. There needs to be time to figure out the direction and how to approach doing that sort of thing. So anyway, let's see here. I'd be horrible at that. Poke my eyes out, jam the lipstick in my ear, thinking it was some space age Q-tip. It would be bad, not gonna lie. Oh yeah, makeup, right? I didn't know him. Do have a related story, however. Oh, cool. My school girlfriend, a zillion years ago. Oh, was she a brachiosaur? I'm sorry, it's a dinosaur reference because you said a trillion years ago. Alright, all jokes aside. Was a smoke show little Greek girl named Elena. That's funny, my sister-in-law is named Elena. It's spelled differently, but that's her name. And she's not Greek, she's Italian like me, but last time I saw my sister-in-law, she had a tan, and she looked kind of Greek. I gotta actually, I gotta use that. I hope I don't offend her, but I kind of want to make a joke out of it and be like, "Hey, did you turn Greek?" I don't know. I gotta come up with some kind of joke there because I think there's a joke in it. Maybe I'll just go to my brother and run it by him first, see what kind of joke is appropriate that won't piss anyone off. Okay, so anyway, but no, she's cool. But yeah, anyway, so I have no idea how, but we were friends for years until we moved away. Smoke show little Greek girl. I don't know what a smoke show little Greek girl is. Is that like a hologram? And Disney Sheepherder, I apologize for not greeting you sooner, but greetings, Disney Sheepherder. I hope you're having a wonderful evening tonight. I hope you're all having a wonderful evening tonight. I hope I'm not hitting you guys with too much of a heavy heart, and I also hope I'm not cheapening, you know, the importance of the life of Klobby, because I don't want to diminish from that, you know? I do want to have fun, and I think we're going to, you know, go and talk about the opposite of Klobby. You know, we say Klobby's the best of us. I think we need to, like, have a little palate cleanser maybe and talk about the worst of us in a moment, you know? And it rhymes with motion gate. Anyway, Klobby was 1 year younger than that 70s rock fan and myself. Has a nice Twitter chat with the great William Shatner, feeling special right now. Has a nice Twitter chat with the great... Ha! Far out. Yeah, sometimes he responds to tweets. You know, sometimes he really does respond to tweets. Yeah, not for Voyager, right? Yeah, not skip and sleep for Voyager. I would skip and sleep for Voyager, maybe. Sorry, I just love the sheep. I have a Ben Grimm / The Thing story. Oh yeah, fire away. Please, James. I kept the tweets. I thought I was being trolled, but it turns out it was really him. Oh, so real quick, speaking of Shatner, so I got a quick one for you guys. So I remember a while back, you know, a couple of friends, I think, including Nerdport Life Form in particular, was talking about the time he, you know, paid to watch William Shatner speak at a convention. And, you know, he spends like fucking 2 minutes or something like that talking about Star Trek. Then he spends the remaining hour talking about his freaking horses. And it's like, yes, we understand that you are a human being with your own life and that you like horses. But, you know, as Nerdporio said at the same time as he said that, was like, I'm paying good money, man. I want to hear you talk about Star Trek. I came here to talk, you know, basically in so many words. The man comes out to see Shatner speak about Star Trek. He pays money for that experience, and then the guy spends most of the time talking about his horses, which has nothing to do with science fiction, Star Trek, space, or any of that cool crap. And like, while, you know, my friend goes to a Star Trek convention to hear William Shatner talk about his frickin' horses, I went to Freedom Fest 2017 in Las Vegas. It's basically like a, you know, economics and politics, you know, convention. And I got to see William Shatner speak for free, no additional cost. And he spent most of the hour talking about directing Star Trek V. So it's like, I didn't even go to a Star Trek convention. I didn't even pay extra. And I still get to see William Shatner talk about Star Trek for like basically the entire time. So I just find that to be like, I find it to be to be a certain irony to that, you know? And basically he talked about how with Star Trek 2, or after Star Trek 2, Spock directed Star Trek 3, and they basically had a contractual deal where Spock would direct Star Trek. Oh crap, I didn't turn on my noise filter. Oh well, too late now. Whatever, okay. So anyway, I'm yelling loudly into the microphone. I'm sure it's overpowering the air conditioner, right? So anyway, where was I? I'm sorry, my brain. Yeah, so every other movie, either Nimoy, Leonard Nimoy, Spock, or William Shatner would direct the movie. So, you know, Star Trek 3 is Spock. I'm sorry. Star Trek 3 is the guy, whoever did Star Trek 3. I forgot who did it. Harv Bennett? Anyway, it doesn't matter. Whoever did Star Trek 3, I think it was Harv Bennett. Star Trek 4 was directed by Spock, Leonard Nimoy, right? The Whales, right? Star Trek 4, The Voyage Home, one of the most well-received Star Trek movies. This is the Star Trek movie that people who don't like Star Trek can sit down and actually get some enjoyment out of. Star Trek 5 was Shatner, and it was marred with, like, I think budget shortfalls and all of these things, and like they had some interesting special effects that were intended to be done. Like they had these rock people. Let's see if we can find a video of the rock people real quick, and then we'll get to James's story here. So I think it's Star Trek v Rock Monster. Oh yeah, here we go. Dun, 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 Rock Monster. Dun, 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 dun. I'm sorry, I got this song stuck in my head. All right, you guys are gonna love. That was loud. I'm sorry, guys. I didn't mean to make that loud noise there. Actually, you're on mute, aren't you? Oh, okay. I'm gonna give you guys some sound right now. Wait for your ears to bleed here. All right. Oh, my little mini avatar is not in the corner because we're using a camera today. Boom. All right. So anyway, let's get this here. Okay. Hopefully this ain't too loud.
The Rockmen in the original screenplay were a very important part of the film's climax.
So I'm gonna goose up the volume for you guys, all right?
The Rockmen in the original screenplay were a very important part of the film's climax. However, it became clear after seeing the dailies that they just would not be suitable. Elizabeth Shatner in her book described it. The Rockmen footage simply did not work. Not only was the smoke blowing the wrong way, but the immobility of the suit gave the Rockman a stiff, unnatural look. As Harve Bennett put it, the monster looked more like a lobster man than a rock man. Although somewhat relieved that they wouldn't have to use the footage that they'd never been happy with, the team now had to brainstorm an alternative plan and come up with a brand new ending for the film.
Honestly, it's kind of sinister looking. All right. So yeah, that's one of the things I learned when watching William Shatner at Freedom Fest 2017. And yeah, just little things like that. And basically, what was the moral of the story? What Freedom Fest being like, an economics and politically oriented convention. What's up, Pop Culture Mechanics? Oh, excuse me, I just belched. I'm sorry, guys. Good evening, Pop Culture Mechanics. Thanks for dropping by. But yeah, like, what was I saying here? So, Shatner's moral was, why did he talk about Star Trek 5 at Freedom Fest? It ties into liberty and all of that crap. And it comes down to, at least the way Shatner phrased it was, he learned from directing Star Trek 5 to never compromise your convictions. So, Shatner argued that if he didn't keep taking notes from the studio, if he didn't keep, capitulating to the demands of the studio and the financiers, that the movie would have been better. But because he didn't stick to his convictions, because I didn't stick to my convictions, that contributed to the movie not ending up well, and that was a valuable lesson that Shatner learned. Now, realistically, I'd imagine he learned a lot of other lessons from that. Or if he only learned that lesson, then maybe he didn't learn a lesson from that movie. Maybe he learned that he's not cut out for directing. No offense. I mean, there's a lot of budgetary stuff. He's Captain Kirk. I would never take that away. Exactly. That can never be taken away. I don't know about him being a director, but he is the only Kirk. Okay? No pine tree ass mother effer is an appropriate substitute. I gave those guys a chance in Star Trek 2009. I did. I gave it a serious chance. And I even overlooked the bullshit that was the destruction of Vulcan and Romulus. But, as good as Carl Urban, as decent as Carl Urban was, fucking Zachary Quinto, I'm sure he's a fine actor in his own right. I think he's a fine audiobook guy. In fact, yeah, I think he does fine in audiobooks, Mr. Quinto. But as emotional Spock, I mean, I know that's not his fault that Spock had to be an emotional, freak. But, I mean, there's just so much I ended up disliking on the second run. It's like, yeah, it looked cool. It sounded cool. But then as it comes to a point where you overdo that 1950s car aesthetic on the Enterprise, you know. But I'm not here to nitpick on the Star Trek movies. But I learned pretty quickly, by the time I got to Star Trek Into Darkness, I was like basically done. Like, yeah, I watched the third one. But it's like, really? They're going to do Star Trek 2 again? They're going to do the Wrath of Khan in reverse? Like, oh, how cute. Yeah, how creative. They just made Kirk and Spock swap places. I mean, look, once again, some of the scenery was cool. And then somehow the freaking triples have the cure to freaking death. Get the fuck out of here. I'm sorry, guys. Anyway, getting back on topic. See, look at that. I'm channeling my inner Clobby right there. And I think that many of us, I hope that many of us, or many of our friends here, do something along those lines. Channel their inner Clobby. And I think some of his closest friends are going to, you know, continue to take a piece, to carry a piece of Clobby's soul, Clobby's mind, Clobby's ideas and thoughts. They're going to continue to carry his thoughts to the airwaves, to the internet, to the speakers and headphones. And, you know, hopefully keep the light of Clobby immortal, hopefully immortalize it. And, you know, just like this morning, I think, or yesterday, you know, one of Clobby's friends was talking about how he found Clobby, and he was like, he had to go to some obscure service, some obscure podcasting platform, sign up, make an account, just to be able to reach out to the guy and be like, hey man, I love what you're doing, can we have you on our show? You know, like, it was like one of these types of things, you know? Yeah, Kelvin timeline is trash. Now, James, I did say I was going to read your story. I mean, yeah, New Trek is no good. Pine wasn't terrible. Okay, you're right. And once again, I can't blame, you know, it's not Pine's fault that the writers and the directors suck. You know what I mean? Like, I'll be fair in that regard. And I think, like, he had that Kirk look, right? Like, there was potential. That's why, like, I gave a chance to the first movie. I saw potential there. But using a particle accelerator or the, what was it? The fusion, experimental fusion reactor from 20th century, 21st century Earth as the engine room on Enterprise kind of just doesn't do it for me. It's like, you cheapskates, build a fucking warp core. But I'm going to calm down and find the story that our boy, that James, did James put the story out? Let's see here. Ah, here we go. I mean, here's some stuff here real quick. Harv Bennett used to be on the Quiz Kids radio show. I paid to see Kevin Smith, and he spent an hour and a half reading the transcript from an episode of Smodcast that I had already re-listened to. That mother... Oh... Like, I'm infuriated on your behalf. Like, I mean, like, it's like, and like, it's a podcast. Like, any jerk off can play that back. Shatner is old. If he still rides a horse, I gotta salute that. He called me Disney Nerf herder, David Glenn. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. That's why I'm doing this commemorative stream tonight. Smoke show. Oh, ho, ho. Oh, yeah. Got it. She was smoking hot. Yeah. Like, you put water on. Gotcha. Yeah. Pick your adjective. That works for me. In radio school, our boss called us. Okay. Okay. My eyes have to adjust. In radio school, our boss called us running rocks. So I had an artist paint the class a Ben Grimm / The Thing flag for our class. I thought it was kind of clever. That's pretty clever. Running rocks. Yeah. I wish when my brother was a Boy Scout patrol leader, he had his he named his patrol the Bubba Gump patrol. So the flag literally had like a felt shrimp on it, and it said Bubba Gump, and that was the name of the patrol. Pretty clever, and it looked pretty cool. And I think the little shrimp had a little smiley face on it, which was cool. Now, when me and my boys did a scout patrol, we somehow got agreement to name it the Principality of Zeon. And you know, I mean, luckily we didn't make it look like the Yahtzee flag, but you know, let's get it. Let's see. We're gonna get the Principality of Xeon flag. Okay, so this is not. I don't think this is. We didn't exactly use this flag. Oh. Okay, we didn't exactly use that flag, but we had the logo in the middle, and I think we did have the stripes on the side. But thankfully, I want to say we had some imperfection in there where it didn't quite look like this. But boy, I probably would not have matched the background if I had known. Like, remember the Duchy of Xeon, the Principality of Xeon. These are, you know, more or less representative of space Nazis. Now, they're not exactly quite like the Nazis, but they have a disregard for their own people. They had a willingness to chemically gas space colonies. Here's a picture of a space colony on the flag. I think this is the post-war Republic of Xeon flag. And so this is like during that transitional period after the 1 year war. And that one is just some Freemason crap. But anyway, not that I have anything against Masons. You know, they're not interested in their little pocket square, you know. Whatever you call that thing. But yeah, you know, anyway, so, you know, we kind of went with something resembling this. That was kind of cool because we could pretend that we're wearing uniforms, so we pretend we're the bad guys from Mobile Suit Gundam. So yeah, but yeah, I probably would have maybe omitted the background if I realized that it resembled, you know, that other flag. Yeah, man, I think just about everyone who's, you know, tuned into Klobby that I've seen tune into Klobby's show tonight, who tuned in tonight, you know, was well liked by Klobby. I mean, like, you know, sometimes, you know, if someone greets you, you don't know if they're just doing it, going through the motions, but even like if Klobby had to spend a lot of his CPU time, you know, with a lot of people, I did get a certain sense that everyone's viewership was, everyone's interaction was valued by him. And I get that because if I didn't tune into a show for like a couple of weeks, 3 weeks, whatever it was, and I tuned in at random, at some random interval, he would acknowledge my presence. He'd be like, it's good to have you here. It's good to see you here. He would thank me for dropping in, you know, whatever he would say. Like, but like, it's like, I would feel this warm welcome, you know, and like, you know, he's under no obligation to do that. He's under no obligation to spend that many seconds of his time while running a show making me feel warm and welcomed. And yet he often did, if not practically always did, for everyone on some level. And if he didn't do it consistently every time, there were times where he would go above and beyond for, you know, some people at some time. So everyone was covered at some point or another, you know? And I hope that as I move forward in my efforts, you know, like, I'll be honest, like, you know, you guys see the logo I normally use, the Monday show. I literally stole the Dave Letterman logo and just put Monday, and it says, I like Turtles Theater instead of Ed Sullivan. I mean, that's like, that's a reflection of my no F's given attitude about this. Like, I mean, I give it shit to an extent. I mean, I go to the trouble of having all of this crap here and, you know, yada, yada, yada. But at the same time, it's like, you know, I kind of like wanted to like be the anti-aspirationist. Like, when I tune into Wednesday's YouTube talk on Stone Loki's channel again, you know, I hear about these people who kiss people's asses in order to get ahead. And it's like, I worry that I'm sometimes doing that. And I think back, shit, I don't want to be that kind of person. But also, like, I think, like, you know, like, I don't want to be one of those people who's greedy. I never went into this thinking I'm going to make money doing this crap. You know what I mean? Like, if I hit the milestones, I get the 1,000 subs and there's so many watch hours, and if I can earn advertising revenue and the occasional super chat to maybe, like, you know, help me buy light bulbs or some shit, you know, and nothing else, I'd be more than happy with that. And frankly, I wouldn't even, you know, be crazy about the super chats, because then I'd have to keep track of taxes. I mean, I wouldn't, you know, beggars can't be choosers. I wouldn't be like, F you, you know. I mean, you know, people willing to donate, it's a gift. I mean, to be donating when you can watch television programming where you don't have to donate, you know, and you don't have to donate to anybody on YouTube, even when they take money. Some people, you know, they have a lot of viewers and they have to manage their interaction. They have to manage how many people, you know, like they can talk to at once. And so they got to decide if there's 500 people tuning in, but only 80 of them are members of the channel paying, you know, monthly. Then yeah, I can empathize with the reason why only those people might get, or those people get the majority of attention, you know? And I think that's one of the challenges when a channel gets too big. It can get a little frightening because it's like now you lose that part of the interaction. It's one of the things that was spoken about Klobby was like, he really didn't care if it went above 2,000. He made 2,000 subs the day he died. And like, you know, it's like he never cared to get to that, above that milestone, because he just wanted to, you know, talk good sci-fi, talk comics, geekery, you know, get a model starship from Mark D with a C, and, you know, like hang out on Sunday Night Geekery where Mark would give a tour of his super cool collectibles. By the way, you guys should check out Mark D with a C. I don't know if he's in my list right now, if he's programmed into here. I suspect not, but I'm going to go ahead and grab that link. D with a C. Let's see here. I used to think Mark D with a C was like a dirty joke, and I was like, nah, it's just, that's his name. But anyway, so let me just scroll through real quick. I want to catch up again. I apologize, guys. I know I'm rambling a lot tonight, but I'm just making up for last week where, yeah, so last week I was really under the weather. Holy shit, man. Let me tell you, like, I come home on a Tuesday, sick, not even know I'm sick. I'm like, I got a headache. And I just stay up late. I get up at 8 a.m. because I wanted to tune in to Loki's morning show, you know, to, you know, in case any new news came out about Klobby, you know, just to, you know, be there for everyone else so that we can all kind of be together, the friend circle, the fellowship. And my headache was still lingering by the time I rolled back over to go back to bed. And it was like not until noon I realized I have something. I have a freaking cold. I have a flu or a cold. And it ruined my whole weekend. I didn't get better until like freaking barely got better on Saturday. I still felt like shit on Saturday. And thank God, thank goodness, thank God, whatever, you know, the universe, whatever you look up to, that I feel squared away today, because next we're going to talk about what's coming tomorrow. I'm going to be on Pops' show, actually. Yeah, I'm going to be on Pops' show. Pops does a program called Talk Hard. We're going to get the time for that stream in a moment. But in the meantime, yeah, I left the link to Mark D with a C, and I would humbly ask you guys, consider subscribing to him if you like some geek stuff. So anyway, real quick. This is good. It's perfect. This kind of ties into what I was talking about. It's nice to be welcomed. I have been bullied, harassed, and generally treated with disrespect. That's what I call junior high school. That's my experience, at least. By some communities for no reason. Oh, yeah, dude, I know what you mean. Yeah. Look, I think sometimes we all do different things that, like, you know, bring it upon ourselves. But at the same time, some people are just, like, it's like, instead of just being diplomatic, like, people make it worse. It's like, so it's like, okay, let's say I was in the wrong. Let's say you were in the wrong for one little reason. Some people never back down. It's like, I know that the person being wronged isn't supposed to be necessarily be the bigger man, but come on, it's a two-way street. Like, throw a fucking olive branch. And it's like, when the other person's not throwing an olive branch, that doesn't motivate you to throw the olive branch out either. So, you know, I totally empathize with that shit, man. I get it. And, you know, I mean, I think the consequences to diplomacy on the internet are relatively low. In real life, if you trust somebody, you could put yourself in a situation where they could screw you over really bad. So, you know, everything is a double-edged sword, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I'm talking in vague terms, obviously. So it's like, I don't want to, like, you know, act like I'm not an authoritative source on conflict resolution. However, as Star Trek fans, I think, you know, something that always been instilled to me. I remember there was a bully in a junior high school, and you know, he happened to be African American, but he could have been any color. You know, it doesn't really matter. And I tried pulling the diplomacy shit on him. I was like, yo, man, what did I ever do to you? You know, it's like, you know, trying to just polite, like 7th grade. I'm just like, what did I ever do to you, man? Yeah, you know, yada, yada, yada. And he just goes, you were born. I was like, I don't even know what the fuck to say to that, except like, I couldn't take the guy seriously, to be honest, because like, It's like, did he really just say that? You were born. I was like, shit. It's like there's no negotiating that one. At least at the time, I didn't think there was a way to negotiate my way out of that. But sometimes you got to just give people a wide berth. One thing I learned from bullying as a youth, and I know you talk about more like, YouTube community bullying and stuff like that, internet bullying. But one thing I learned from bullying is it's important to be able to articulate. There's a lot of times where I think if I could better articulate what I was going through, not just to the bully, but to anybody, authority figures, it would be impossible or difficult to be gaslighted into backing down. Because if you don't articulate clearly the situation, you could either A, be instigated into doing something and then looking like the asshole, or you could be gaslighted into backing down because, it's like at this point, what do you really have on the person? You need something like clear cut, or to at least be able to articulate what you're experiencing so that it can be dealt with, or at least documented in such a way that next time if something happens again, you're saying, hey, look, I came to the principal's office. Remember I told you that this was happening? Well, now this is happening. Remember that fight in the cafeteria that you suspended me for? Well, yeah, that was because of those 2 times I told you about, the other events. So just things that if any younger people are listening, yeah, conflict resolution, or, dealing with bullies, learn to, just succinctly articulate what's going on. I know sometimes when things are happening to you, it gets very complex. And this has nothing to do with you, Captain Endgame and Master. I just kind of wanted to share some insights from life, I guess. But yeah, if you can succinctly articulate what's going on in a high level manner, as opposed to a low level where you're going, you avoid too much detail, but you kind of just express this is what's been going on, maybe skip some specifics, but specifics can be important when you want to articulate things clearly, I guess. I don't know. Now I sound like a guy giving girl advice to somebody. When people give you advice on picking up girls and they give you the most vague advice. They're like, be yourself, but also be cool. Like, what the fuck? And then you're cool, and they're like, oh, no, you're faking it. You're not being yourself. It's like, then you be yourself, and then people are like, oh, you can't wear that mismatched, poor color coordination clothing to pick up. So it's like you get mixed signals from people, and maybe that's because in a competitive market, people who know what they're doing don't always want to give good advice to everyone else because it is competitive out there. But anyway, getting back on topic. I'm sorry, guys. I get a little sidetracked, I guess. Right? I appreciate your patience. Let's catch up real quick. So anyway, did I read this? Did I read the entire chat? And DJ Ronnie G has a great channel. I couldn't agree more. I wholeheartedly agree. I think this guy knows what's up. Okay, I think he gets it. He totally gets it. You guys could learn a thing or two from my friend here. DJ Ronnie G has a great channel. The opposite of that. Thank you. Oh, I appreciate that. I just try to play it cool with everyone, and respect and shit. You know what I mean? You know how I roll. And have fun. And share knowledge and all of that, like someone, once again, the lofty stuff we learned from Star Trek, I try to extend some of that to what we do here. And I hope I get to have you on my show soon. We'll have to coordinate about that, but I think we should do like a game stream, maybe next week. Hell, fuck, where's Wade? Wade was supposed to come on. Wade wasn't supposed to come on, but I invited Wade on. I said if he's available, hit me up. If Wade showed up in the chat tonight and asked to come on, I would have given him a link. But it's okay. I'll have him on next week if he's available. I did promise Wade I wanted to have him on. And I don't have any plan specific for next week either. So, I'm sure, and I wasn't planning on doing this show either, but, this matters. This subject matters. Yeah, and I know what you mean, man. Yeah. Oh, yo, Discord. Don't even get me started. Yeah, I know what you mean. All right. No hate, lies, or division here. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's actually, aside from a friend saying that I have the greatest channel, which is just very enlightened wisdom. Once again, I can't say that enough. That is just highly enlightened wisdom. This is another highly enlightened thing said about my channel tonight. But jokes aside, I don't mean to sound like I'm cocky or arrogant. I'm just having fun here. But no, jokes aside, this is very high praise. I do appreciate that. Do any of you watch Ex-Prisoner channel? Wait, do any of you watch that ex-prisoner channel? Another woman chopped off her boyfriend's cute eggplant. Only except like when Lorena Bobbitt did that, dude bled and died. That's not okay. Yeah, I mean, at least get a fucking suture, tampon, plug it up. Maybe, you know, okay, that's terrible. Ugh. That is not okay. Of course that's not. Look, if a man mutilated a woman, it would never be okay, right? So just because like, I get that there's novelty to having a dick chopped off. I get that. Like that, if the guy was a real piece of crap, we might be able to find some humor into that. Maybe, you know, but of course there's always two sides to a story. And I remember like the first time I heard about the Lorena Bobbitt snip. My mom was on the phone. My mom was on the phone. She might have been like, I don't know, early 40s, late 30s, probably like in that ballpark. My mom's on the phone, and I just go up there and go, "Hey, mommy, did you hear the story about that lady who cut her husband's pee-pee off?" My mom's like, "What the fuck?" And just starts cracking up out of nowhere because it's like, where the fuck did that come from, you know? And yeah, so there's novelty there. But jokes aside, yeah, I mean, if it's not funny to, you know, mutilate someone of one sex, then it's not funny to mutilate someone of the other sex. I agree. And, you know, without evidence, without clear, obvious evidence, like recorded evidence or, you know, better yet, a proper court case, innocent until proven guilty, you know, it's not really our place to make, usually it's not our place to make that determination. I mean, I don't want to say always, because maybe there's times where you could just clearly tell that somebody's a real piece of work. I mean, but I think that's, you know, speaking of lofty ideals, you know, like one of the things about the Roman justice, the Roman law system of law that was adopted by the British and the English and us, you know, there's certain elements of that, you know, that, you know, are sacred, you know, linchpins or cornerstones or whatever to our society, to the fabric of our society. And if we didn't have, you know, the jury of our peers and all of these things, if we didn't have the judicial system, you know, set up that way, it's not perfect by any measure, but at least we don't have complete and utter mob rule. You know, it's like at least, you know, there are some checks and balances. At least there's an appeal process. On the downside, you got the whole money buying you your innocence situation. That's, you know, something that I wish, you know, maybe in a future society, the founders of a future society will do a better job of solving that. Maybe it'll be when humanity colonizes the stars. Well, I'm talking about humanity colonizing the stars. I got a freaking guy's cucumber on my eggplant on my screen. Let's get that off. Maybe when humanity starts colonizing Proxima Centauri, Alpha Centauri, you know, our nearest star systems. Maybe at that point, you know, as much as like I'm fond of capitalism, I think capitalism is the great equalizer because everybody can, you know, has the same baseline opportunity. People who, you know, make it possible for other people to earn money have the incentive that they can, you know, take a risk, but also have the potential incentive to earn a lot of money. You know, and so, you know, barring post-scarcity, maybe what you might have is a closed system on a ship. And, you know, when you get to the next star system, you know, like maybe then you start doing proper trade. But on a ship, I'd imagine Star Trek Voyager was interesting in that regard, because even though Star Trek is a post-scarcity civilization, you know, the thing is, on Voyager, they were in a relatively closed system. They had a limited amount of replicator rations. The crew members had limited amounts of replicator rations. And so it became a bit of a cottage industry, if that's the right term. You know, like a bit of a black market where crew members would gamble or otherwise trade or barter with replicator rations. And so Tom Paris would always, you know, need to borrow replicator rations from his friend Harry because he would be the irresponsible gambler, while Harry would be like the good schoolboy who doesn't gamble his replicator rations. You know, so it's like you see like a situation like no matter how much the directors, writers, and showrunners want to pretend that they don't have any kind of shred of capitalism in Star Trek, that dirty, evil capitalism, that is capitalism. When crew members are, you know, using replicated rations as, freaking, as currency, that is a form of, that is some kind of market economy. Maybe that's not proper capital. I don't really know, but that seems like capitalism to me. Maybe it's just a market, So I'd imagine that, a long haul ship, assuming that the crew aren't spending the entire time in suspended animation, they may develop something like that. Maybe a coffee bean economy. Because who doesn't want their coffee, Coffee is important to some people. And, you'd have limited hydroponic spaces for coffee. Hell, it might not even be allowed. They might have to grow coffee illegally somewhere in the back of the ship next to the engine room. And, any number of things. So, yeah, that's a whole other thing. Maybe one of these days I'll learn to write a story. But anywho, let's keep rolling here. Good night, Disney Streetwriter. Thank you very much. I hope you have a good work week, and I look forward to having you on at the next best convenience for you. And if that's sooner than I expect, you just let me know. You give the word, and if there's no extenuating reason not to have you on, if there isn't an extenuating reason to have you on, not have you on, whatever, you know what I mean, then you're on. And I'll send a message on Twitter if in case you didn't get that. The Ferengi New Capitalism. Yeah, so the Ferengi are interesting because, of course, they're used as a way of illustrating bad, the ills of capitalism, right? And, I remember Data refers to the Yankee trader in the very first Star Trek, appearance, or one of the first appearances of the Ferengi on Star Trek. And something like it's funny because on Deep Space Nine, so one of the things I learned from Klobby, and I'm glad we're talking Ferengi right now, pop culture mechanic. I'm glad you brought them up because I remember when Klobby, Briggs, Commander Briggs, and Chief Engineer Mark were reviewing Star Trek Deep Space Nine, they cued me into something very interesting. Do you guys remember the episode with the sanctuary districts? It was the episode where Dax hangs out with Elon Musk. It's not really Elon Musk, but let's see here. Sanctuary district. Let me see if I get a picture of that. It was like this dystopian episode where basically it's like they get pulled, they have a transporter incident where they're beaming down, and because of the cloaking device on the USS Defiant, there's these particles in the hull that causes the transporter beam to go back in time. And so Dax is found sleeping on a subway platform. She's basically literally just sleeping on a subway platform. And Elon Musk, it looks like Elon Musk. Klobby referred to the guy as Elon Musk, and that cracked me up. It's like throughout the review of the episode, he kept calling this guy Elon Musk. Kind of picks her up and says, "Hey, do you have your ID?" And she's like, "No." He's like, "Oh, you better come with me, man. You'll get arrested if you don't have your ID on you." So even though she's from the future, she got lucky being found by a rich guy who was nice, and he was able to basically help her, find her, her friends and all of these things. Well, anyway. Ed Begley Jr. Huh. Interesting. I did not know that. So, anyway, my brain is processing. Give me a second. I speak faster than my brain sometimes, apparently. And what up? Did I say hi to Snowdub? Well, thank you for dropping in, Snowdub. So basically, the director of this episode, the guy who was the director in this particular episode was a guy named Stephen I. Robert. Now, let's see what Stephen I. Robert looks like, because I think it matters. So there's two ways to see this guy. Is DS9, What We Left Behind. So you know that stupid documentary where you see this guy's ass on the fucking box? I'm sorry, pardon my language here. Let me open up the picture in a new tab and I'll explain. All right. You ever see the documentary here, What We Left Behind? So it's I see this guy right off the bat, I'm like, what the fuck is David Bowie doing on the box? Or, I don't know, whatever, musician-ass motherfucker that is. He looks like, an acid trip combined with Iggy Pop. I don't really know my musicians that well. You guys are going to have to fill in the blank for me, but you get the idea. Anyway, this guy is responsible for a lot of the commie shit that you see on DS9, and I kind of enjoyed the Sanctuary District episode to an extent, but seeing it through the lens of Klobby and Raquel and Mark, Clobby, Raquel, and Mark, really kind of gave me like a different view, and now it kind of like opened my eyes. Where if you go back, one of the valuable things you can get from watching Saturday Night Star Trek with Clobby and his crew is that they'll point out whenever an episode was ran by this guy. And, you know, it's like, they'll always make fun of it. They'll be like, oh yeah, fucking bear brain, Steve and Ira Bear, you know. And it's just kind of funny like that, you know. So what's my point? So I get sidetracked easily, as you can see. Let's see if we get that other picture. I had another picture here. I think that was basically the point. Yeah, I think that was the point. You know, if it comes back to me, I'll bring it up some other time, I guess. I type for crap. Well, if you type for me, I will FedEx you some crap. I got a box right here. Yo, speaking of crap, I had a spider. Wait, I had a spider hanging from this webcam. In fact, there's some spider web on here. Okay. Anyway, I had a spider on my camera before. It was really awful. Like, I was sitting here getting the video dedication ready for Clobby, and I see this plump ass mother effer. Like, the spider was like that. Like, I'm not even kidding. That shit was like that big. And I was like I made this noise, and then I got a cardboard box, because I don't kill spiders for two reasons. One, I don't want to crush a large spider. That would just leave all kinds of disgusting crap on my stuff. But number two, you know, they eat mosquitoes, they eat bugs, they eat, you know, things that are worse. So, you know, on a scale of spider to bedbug, I'd rather have a spider. On a scale, you know, to spider and millipede, millipedes and spiders actually, you know, they don't want to be bothered by us. Spiders tend to get in our face, but they don't really. You know, so I took the spider outside. It's nice and warm outside anyway. And that's that. So anyway, let's really quickly get back on subject here and prepare to wrap up. Oh yeah, so let's talk about tomorrow's stream. But yeah, I appreciate you guys hearing me out, allowing me to speak my thoughts on Clobby. If you guys have any thoughts you wish to add, I'll read them out before the conclusion of tonight's show. Is that a link to Snowdub's channel? I would click on it, but I'm afraid to click on it. Let me see. I mean, I'm not afraid to click on it. Oh, it's a shorts video. Let's see. We'll play it back. What could go wrong?
Okay, so this woman had a problem. She cheated on her boyfriend, and she ended up being pregnant. And there was some dispute as to whether or not the baby in her belly was her boyfriend's or the person she cheated on him with. I don't know how to pronounce her name, so I'm gonna call her Ouch. During an argument between Ouch and her boyfriend about whose baby it was, she ended up cutting off his pee-pee. Ouch! In Ouch's statement to the police, she said that it seemed like he was in a bit of pain, so she went down to the Walgreens and she got some beer and some ibuprofen, and on the way back stopped at one of those stores and picked up some greens. But by the time she got back to the hotel, her boyfriend had bled to death out of the hole where he used to have him a pee-pee. Ouch is currently being held on $1 million bond for murder and domestic violence. When I said that ending, did it sound like too light and upbeat? Hold on. Ouch is now being held on a $1 million bond for murder and domestic violence. Yeah, dude, that was way better. Okay, so this...
Whew. Whew. It's amazing. So one thing I learned from the Instagram generation is makeup and the lack thereof. Like, I bet you this looked like a fine Asian fox without makeup and a tight dress or some combination thereof. But without the makeup, with prison lighting, and look, I get it, fluorescent lights don't do justice. We got something, I don't know if it's right for me to say her face reminds me of a shovel, but kind of reminds me of a shovel. So yeah, anyway, you know, so it's like this guy was probably like having a good time thinking, I got this hot girl. And it's like, damn, he got his snipped off and died for a shovel. And let that be a lesson. Make sure that, you know, it's true love or something, because, you know, or at least the girl is cool and not evil like that, because it's okay if a girl is not aesthetically pleasing. I mean, look, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, but you know, that ain't beauty if they're cutting your dick off. He dyed his beard blue. That should tell you all you need to know. Yeah, that's basically what it comes down to. If the guy with the the sunglasses, Mr. Steven Ira. Robert Uppy Jr. I'm sorry, it's opposite day. Now, Robert Downey Jr. with a shaved head and a hat kind of. No. FedEx poo poo. I almost mailed out a bologna sandwich on eBay once. Yeah, have a good night, David Glenn. Thank you for hanging in there as long as you did. I know it's late, bro. Have pleasant dreams. Sleep well. Oh, yeah. Captain Endgame and Master. He might be blocked on your channel, Snowdub, but, you know, it's between you guys. Okay, but I think he's the guy who is the, how do I phrase it? Undercover on your channel a long time ago. So, yeah, might be worth coordinating. But then again, you wouldn't be blocked from this account. Anyway, I digress. I'm not trying to dig a hole. But, yeah, cool people nonetheless. Oh, what up, Admiral Teague? Thanks for dropping in, man. I hope you're having a wonderful evening there. Yeah, man. I was actually going to my memberships today. I was trying to see if I can clean house on memberships. And I think I had a gift membership. I still have a gift membership on your channel, I think up until, like, 2 days from now. And I was, like, not prepared to, like, cancel that, but I think you offered the lower tier membership. So some people, they don't offer memberships for less than $4.99. So it's like, if you're trying to conserve money and not, you know, pay $5 to too many people, those people make it really difficult for me to renew or to decide to even sign up if, you know, if whether or not I had a gift membership. But, you know, when people have a $1 tier, at least I can always do the $1. Like, even though, yeah, that's minimum effort. Like, literally, on Midnight's Edge After Dark, you do the $1 membership, and you get called a minimum effort puppy. But you know what? They get, like, 500 people tuning in sometimes. So if 500 people give them $1, that's $500 a month. Some of those people are given $20 a month. Some of those people are given $5 a month. So, you know, it works out. But, you know, obviously, like, I have to donate proportional to how much I watch any given channel, and of course proportional to my actual capabilities and, you know, in accordance with my own needs, or what I'm sounding like Marx right now, right? In accordance with one's needs and ability. That stupid phrase. Anyway, I digress. To each according to their need. Some crap like that. Hippy dippy shit, if you tell me. Anyway, let's really quickly promote this. I'm going to promote this twice, but real quick in short order. This is Pops' channel, youtube.com/@Pops. And that's going to be Shin Godzilla stream tomorrow at 5:30 New York time. EDT. So that's like, you know, whatever time it is in the rest of your parts of the world. If you convert that to GMT, then you could convert it to your time, I guess. Anyway, I went with less than the suggested amount by $1 or $2. I appreciate anyone who joins, but no one's obligated. I dig that, I respect that, and I appreciate that, Admiral Teague. See, I'm gonna have a blast tomorrow. Look at that. My picture's already here. Pops hooked it up, man. I sent him a high-resolution copy of my thumbnail. I look like a masked murderer, I guess. I don't know. What do you guys think about my avatar? Like, does it make me look rugged holding a mountain bike in the snow? Or does it make me look scary? You know, give me your honest feedback. Tell me how you really feel. But jokes aside, yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. I freaking loved this movie. Like, I like this movie so much. We're about to do a sneak peek right now. So to do that sneak peek, we're going to go here. And we're going to play only the English parts. Yeah, you heard right. We're going to play the English scenes from Shin Godzilla, because there are a number of English-speaking parts in this movie, and I just accidentally opened up Stellarium, so I'm going to have to exit that before I continue. Unless you guys want to look at the stars. No, let's close it out. Okay, so, whoa. Holy schnitzel. I got to fix my display setting there. Okay, that's all right. So anyway, we're going to just play all the English scenes and nothing else. Let me just get my volume mixer up. And I appreciate your patience, and I pray that this is not too loud. Okay, good. It's not too loud. Hopefully it's not too low either, right? So, basically, okay, Shin Godzilla is so cool. We'll show you some monster scenes real quick, but for now, let's just watch all of the scenes where the Japanese actress speaks English, because this is a American diplomat, basically. or some kind of American state person. But in reality, she's a Japanese actress who doesn't speak a stitch of English. She basically had to like figure out how to pronounce these lines, and she does as good as a Japanese person can be expected to do.
I trust you. Just US Japan. So win-win.
Understood. Let's get to it.
Thank you. Oh, I rushed to Yokota straight from a party, so I didn't have time to change.
巨彩隊事務局長の矢口
Oh yeah, and this is important. This is like why I actually need to make this clip, because the director of Neon Genesis Evangelion directed this movie, and I can prove that because, well, let's see. Let's goose up the volume just a wee bit. I'm gonna goose up the volume on all of these, I think. Okay.
本対策室の中ではどう
目標は JA。5分以内にロシン誘拐の危険があります。
See, like, it's like the guy from Neon Genesis Evangelion literally used the same music in this movie. I just find that I didn't even know Hideaki Anno directed Shin Godzilla the first time I saw it, and I had to basically pause and find out why the hell are they playing the Evangelion battle theme, and then I figured out why, and I was like, oh, it's Hideaki Anno. It's like I didn't even know. I was just watching the Godzilla movie because it was new. And if we were gonna play one more scene, this movie is Triumph of the Bureaucrats. Pretty nasty, right? Let me see here. Looking for a specific scene here for you guys. I want to. Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't even showing you the screen just now. All right, that's all right. I'm gonna show you one cool scene. They got some tank battle here. We're gonna find it. I'm gonna lower that volume a little bit. I apologize, guys. Hope it's not too loud. Oh yeah, whatever it is. All right. Oh yeah. All right, you gotta love this. I hope I'm not spoiling anything. Damn it! It sucks. I'm sorry, I skipped the part. Oh yeah, there we go. So I'm sorry, okay, we're gonna wrap this up very soon. I'm gonna pause it so I don't get copyright claimed. Like, that is a pure atomic beam. That is his atomic breath. That is a gamma ray beam, if you ask me. It's really not gamma rays, but I see that as like an ultraviolet, super high frequency, highly like intense concentrated maser or something like that. You know, maybe a grazer, gamma ray laser. I mean, that is not effing around. Like that is like just cutting the skyscrapers like a haircut. Oh, I need to get a haircut. I gotta call my haircut place tomorrow. Schedule. Transporting the Prime Minister and 8 others to Tachikawa. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. No more spoilers there. So I am pumped about talking about Shin Godzilla with Pops, Stone Loki, and I believe Ironcaster. I hope I get to see Ironcaster tomorrow. Is he going to be on? I didn't see his name on the screen. Let's hope he's on because he's a cool cat. Yes, it's all of them. Yep, all of the aforementioned names tomorrow at 5:30 p.m. EST. I said EDT for some reason. Time zones got confusing ever since they updated them. But yeah, this is gonna be super cool. I'm obviously, needless to say, I'm quite excited about this. So live in 17 hours, this will be on. So, you know, I dropped the link into the chat. I'll drop it in the chat one more time. Did I say hi to you, Lemon Pie? Well, hi, Lemon Pie. Thanks for dropping by, Lemon Pie. Sorry that I'm wrapping up very soon, but it's good to see you. Kicking Godzilla in the shins might work if you used a dump truck or something. Well, that's the thing. That's like the climax of this movie. The way they deal with Godzilla does involve trucks. I don't want to ruin it, man, but I don't know. Like, it doesn't resonate with everyone. I understand that, like, a lot of the disaster recovery stuff from the 2013 tsunami and meltdown and all of that earthquake stuff. I understand that some people didn't enjoy the disaster, you know, management aspect of the movie. The people sitting in meetings and more meetings and meetings about having meetings. But I don't know. I ate this all up. I really did. The only thing I hated about this movie is that they didn't make a sequel. But that might be a good thing. And if you tune into Pops' stream tomorrow, you might agree with that sentiment. Or you might at least learn why the sequel would have been beyond weird as far as Godzilla movies go. Maybe that's why a sequel was not greenlit. You look like you stole the bike, kinda. Oh, yeah, I do. That is great, man. So yeah, any questions, any thoughts, any ideas? Purple wasabi. Oh yeah, that is that is some purple wasabi right there. It's a good call. Now I'm kind of craving sushi. Yeah, Japan did make a lot of classic Nintendo games, and maybe that's what we want to think. One of the things we could do when we stream. Because, you know, I do, you know, aside from the games that are on the Nintendo Switch that you can get through the, you know, official Nintendo Switch emulator, whatever, you know, that they let, you know, what do you call that? The classic games mode, virtual console. Wow, I'm old. I just called it virtual console. But, you know, like, I get, like, ROMs that I play on my 3DS, that I play on my Game Boy Micro, and, you know, I keep a few Japanese titles around, like Mobile Suit Zeta Gundam Hot Scramble. That game is very uniquely coded. It's almost like you're flying in 3D, but of course it's just a hack, and it takes some very, very clever coding to develop a game like that. And in Mobile Suit Zeta Gundam Hot Scramble, you got a first-person shooter mode where you're flying the plane and you're shooting your lasers or whatever, your beam rifle, your beam cannon. You have a flight mode where you operate as a mech, you know, as a robot, as a Gundam. And then the Gundam turns into an airplane, and you can fly it like an airplane. You can fly it diagonally, and you can shoot your weapon, and then you can turn back into a mech. And you can shoot your weapons, like, at all 8 cardinal directions, you know? So it's like you could shoot 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Anyway, you get the idea. I don't want to take up too much more of your valuable time tonight, everyone. Although I'm off from work tomorrow, which is why I'm happy to be up late right now, and I'm quite wired. I think I just feel good because I got over that cold. I mean, I felt like crap all last week. Like, I had the chills, I had this, like, fever, I had this headache, I had this, like, multicolored phlegm coming out of me. It was just awful, you know? And, I mean, it could have been worse, but it wasn't great. And, you know, those symptoms seemingly behind me. And so I'm a very happy camper right now. So, yeah, meetings need to be as short as a NFL huddle, in my opinion. In my something opinion. I don't know what the A means. I can come up with what the A means, but I don't want to guess wrong. In my anonymous opinion. There we go. See, I saved myself from sounding like an asshole. I swear they get better performance buying a pack of cigarettes or something versus never-ending meetings. That would be a good movie, like Never-Ending Story. Never-ending meeting. Da-da-da-da-da. Monday night. Okay, I don't know. Check out the Robot Chicken version of Never-Ending Story if that interests you. Oh, after the stream is over, I got to edit a video clip of the time that we read the Star Trek Federation Passport on stream. I did that when I had Baron, Pacific 414, and names who escape my brain right now on the show. We had a few weeks ago, we had that show when we talked about the what we loved about the prequels. Also, I do plan on editing the stream where me and David Glenn and I discussed random stuff. I need to download that stream. I need to run it through a multi-pass filter. Wait, a multi-band filter? I need to use like a compressor filter or something like that to get his volume levels up without... I basically got to lower my volume levels and bring up his volume levels without having independent audio tracks. Very tricky, but I have a theory on how I can pull it off. Ah, so it is. Okay. So I didn't want to like say asshole because like I was worried that, you know, I didn't want to call you an asshole. Meetings need to be as short as a NFL huddle. Excuse me. Meetings need to be as short as a NFL huddle, in my asshole opinion. All right, that works for me. I just want to make sure, as long as you approve me reading that out loud, we're cool. So yeah, I think we covered all our bases tonight. So I want to thank you guys once again, and I really want to thank everybody who tuned in tonight for, you know, giving me the opportunity to talk about a good man, to talk about Clobbering Times, Mike Clobby Alonso. I don't think we'll meet anybody quite like him ever again on this platform. I mean, I'm sure there will be people who are unique. Everybody's unique, just like women. No offense, but you know, every girl is unique. Never say like, oh my God, I'll never get a girl like her. It's like, okay, well, you'll find another unique girl. Everyone's special in their own way, but you know, it's definitely a loss to this corner of the platform, this corner of our geek community. I didn't even know that if he was, you know, around next October, I could have met him at Valhalla Con. That would have been a hell of a treat right there, meeting, you know, Clobbering Times in real life. That would have been the coolest effing thing ever. But, you know, life goes on, and we must move forward, you know, honor the memory of the people who have taught us things, and just move forward, be our best selves, or do what we do, you know, in a way that's not mediocre. And as much as I like to have this no F's given attitude, I hope I hope I step up my game and that I've been raising the bar in a sufficiently meaningful manner. And with that being said, yeah, let's get the outro going. So once again, I want to thank James, Lemon Pie, Captain and Game Master. We already got James and Lemon Pie here, all right? Okay, I'm going backwards. Pop Culture Mechanic, Admiral Teague, Lady Mist. I want to thank the host for coming through. That's what it says on my screen. It says host, but over here it doesn't give you a name, so that's not fun. Snowdub Music and Entertainment. Did I say David Glenn? Well, I want to thank David Glenn for dropping in. And I think that about covers everybody here. And last but not least, Disney Sheepherder, Jana Banana. And I think I actually got everyone. And why do I bother to read all those names? Because some people like Clobby. Because Clobby, that's what Clobby did. And I don't have half as many people that he had on his you know, stream. So I think I can afford to read. I think I can afford to read, you know, the amount of names that I have here tonight. I'm, you know, grateful for each and every one of you guys and ladies. So with that being said, we're going to prepare to conclude. Let me just get that video queued up because oh crap, we have the wrong account up. Ah, bummer. Okay, let me see something. Give me 1 second here. Just give me 2 seconds. Let me just make sure that I, we're going to just open up a file in my DaVinci folder, and then we'll be good to go. So let me just, let's see. It's going to be, wait, that's not the right folder. All right. Damn it. Okay. It's going to be fcom/videos, and then it's going to be DaVinci. Then it's going to be GSD Gundam Seed outro for YouTube. Okay, good. We got it right here. Okay, give me 1 second. Oh, excuse me. Okay, good. I lowered the volume levels. Just bear with me 1 second, friends. I really appreciate this while we do this by the book here. You know, one of the reasons why I set up an outro is from watching people like Klobby, watching a lot of people who have have a proper, you know, ending to their show. And it's not much, but I just want to have something, right? You know, so here we go. So once again, thanks for tuning in. If you have any questions, comments, or ideas, please leave a comment, like, or subscribe if that interests you. And we'll end transmission at the conclusion of this video clip. Oops. Wait. I didn't get your message. I'm so sorry, man. Oh, shoot. I was hoping, I'll be honest, I kind of ran late with my stream. But I do want to acknowledge you because I did mention you earlier into the stream. So I definitely want to make sure I you know, acknowledge you because the invitation's still on the table. I apologize. I didn't get a chance to message you before starting the show. I was trying to get this started around the usual time. But, yeah. You still have an open invite because I didn't give you the link today to drop in. But yeah, if you know, if I invite you and, you know, you don't get a link and you come in the chat and say, hey, can I get the link? 100% you get the link because I invited you. So I'm not going to renege on an invite once I make an actual proper invite. But I do apologize for not DMing you the link. If you're available and you wish to join next week, you're more than welcome. If I do a stream before that and it's not like a solo stream, I mean, heck, if I do a stream before that, I'll hit you up anyway. How about that? But in all seriousness, you're 100% welcome on. And if anything... Oh, you're too sick. Oh, that's good. I mean, that's not good. I'm awful. It's not good that you're sick, of course. I'm just joking. But I say it's good because I thought I was the asshole. I thought that maybe because I didn't send you the link that I failed to send you the link. And so that's why you weren't on. So then when you said that you were sick, I kind of just joked. I was like, oh, I'm relieved. Thank goodness you're sick because it means that it's not my fault you're not on. But in all jokes aside, I hope you feel better. I was sick last week too. I don't know if we got the same thing. I hope I didn't sneeze into my microphone and get you sick, man. No, I'm kidding. I hope you don't get me sick. Let me disinfect my screen real quick. I don't want to get any germs from you, Wade. I'm cleaning my screen with 99% isopropyl. Okay, all jokes aside, I'll check my X message. I'll get back to you if it's anything time sensitive. And, you know, feel better whenever you're up for it. I'm sure you'll be better by next week. But, oh, it's allergies. Oh, I got you. So, you know, well, whatever works for you. I'll read your message, work something out. But, you know, my invitation still stands. And if I ever invite you on and I fail to send you a link prior to the show, just let me know in the chat because, you know, like if I can't have you in this, let's say like I don't invite you on and you say, hey, can I be on? I'll let you know, like basically in so many words, nah, man, I'm doing a solo show. But if I invite you on and I forget to send you the link, then yeah, that's on me. Then I got to, you know, give you the link, you know, it's like, so yeah. And you're booked till the 5th. All right. Well, either way, whether you're booked on your end, if, you know, we don't have a conflicting time slot, you're welcomed on. Otherwise, you know, if you have to wait until after the 5th, then that will be my Monday show on the 8th of July. So whatever works for you, just let me know. And, you know, we'll touch base. Yeah, I start normally at 10:45 p.m. New York time. And that's interesting. Some people say locally sourced bee pollen helps. So basically, like, if, you know, the flowers give you allergies, the pollen gives you allergies. Yeah, we're going into extra innings right now. This is like Culture Casino when he does his 6-minute daily. We're going into the 8-minute daily right now. But jokes aside, I'm glad you dropped in just as I was playing the outro. That's mad funny. Oh, booked for vacation. Oh, cool. I hope you have a good vacation. But yeah, I heard some people would have like they'll buy bee pollen made by bees that are local to where they live, and because the bees, dealing with the same pollen that makes people allergic in the same area, eating the honey from those bees sometimes helps you deal with the allergies better. But of course, locally sourced bee honey is not as common. Usually, like I can get bee honey from upstate New York, but getting honey from my local county or from Staten Island depends. Maybe, maybe not. I never tried to get it locally because then I'd have to actually speak to people and antisocial. But that's cool, man. But yeah, I'll be in touch, Wade. Thanks for dropping by. Thanks for hitting the like button. I mean, I don't know if you hit the like button, but I always hit the like button on your channel. But jokes aside, everyone, nobody's under any obligation to hit the like button. All I ask is, if you hit the dislike button, please leave a comment so I know why you dislike the content. And for now, I'm gonna conclude this stream because okay, wait, soon. You don't mean soon right now, but I'm literally wrapping up right now. Unfortunately, it's like I'm 2 hours over right now, and I kind of want to, do my favorite thing in the world, eat ice cream. Now, jokes aside, I'm gonna have a flying saucer. It's gonna be good. I mean, if you want to hop on real quick to show something, I might accommodate you, but otherwise, I'm planning to wrap up right now. To be honest with you, so if anything, let me just check the Twitter message, man. I don't want to leave you hanging like that. But I did invite Wade on. I did do that. I did. So I mean, I hope he doesn't mean soon right now, but I'm gonna check the message because I am a man of honor. No, I'm joking. Okay, let's take a look. But jokes aside, no, Wade, I really appreciate you, bud, and I apologize for not reaching out to you earlier. Let me just see here. Oh, okay. No, you're good. Yeah, we can reschedule after the. Okay, good. Wade's message does not put me under any obligation. Whew. You gave me a scare, man. I thought I was obligated to have you on right now. Whew. No, I'm joking. But all jokes aside, if you're available before the 5th, you're welcome on. But otherwise, we'll touch base, one way or another. Basically, the 6th is the day before I go back to work. The 7th, I go to work. The 8th is my Monday show. So we can definitely do the 8th, and we'll play it by ear. I'll shoot you a message, but I appreciate it. Anyway, for everybody who tuned in tonight, 100%. So yeah, guys, you got something to look forward to. We're going to have Wade from Real Wade Nation Gaming Clips on next opportunity that Wade is available and back from vacation. In the meantime, once again, if you hit that dislike button, leave a comment. Otherwise, usual things like subscribe, yada yada.